Ain't no way. What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today on the Engineer Next Door, we're going to teach you how to change your vehicle's battery. Also give you a couple tips and tricks to see if your battery is actually dead. So let's get into it. All right, first thing you're going to notice if your battery's dead is if you try to unlock your car, it's not going to unlock. Second, when you get into your car, the overhead light's not going to come on. And third, you try to start your car and nothing. No lights, no nothing. First things first, we're going to start our troubleshooting. So we're going to start with finding the date that this was installed. On your battery, you should have little indicators here that what month and year it was installed. So this was installed in February of 2016. It is now 2024, so you know that's 8 years. This battery is an upgraded battery, so it is expected to go past your typical Napa battery, and so your typical lead acid battery lasts about 2 to 5 years, but since this is an AGM battery, it lasted me almost 8 years, so that's the first indicator this is past its lifetime. All right, and if you have any lead acid buildup on your terminals, just take a wire brush, clean that off, and get that gunk off. Next thing we're going to do is test our voltage of our battery using a voltmeter. And a typical battery sits at around 12 volts, 12.4 volts. This battery right now is sitting at 3.9 volts. And so anything below about 11 to 10 volts or so, your battery is starting to deteriorate. Whoa. And it might be worth changing your battery out. So next thing we need to consider is how long this battery has been sitting without being charged or started. Let's take a lawnmower for instance. A lawnmower sits in your backyard for about 6 months without being started, and your battery is going to lose some voltage at just sitting there, and so it needs to be charged. All right, now we need to check our terminals. Sometimes these can come unthreaded just because of the vibrations of the motor, and then also your thermal expansion from your engine bay being so hot. So we're going to test this. Yeah, look how loose that is. So we're going to tighten that down. See if this one's like that. That one's tight. Okay, we're going to make sure these are tight with an 8mm wrench. And make sure these are tight. That's good. That one was a little bit loose. Okay, let's go try our vehicle again. Nothing. So last test we can do is take your battery out and take it to your local auto parts store, and they'll have a battery tester there, and they can read if your battery is good or not. So now that we've ran through that checklist, I think it's time that we just replace this battery, and let's show you how to do that. First thing you're going to do is most vehicles have a battery mount or some sort of guard. So if you got in a crash, your battery's not just going to fly everywhere. So we need to take this bar out in order to get the battery out. So we're going to do that real quick. Just 8mm bolt here, 10mm bolt here. Okay. Now we're going to remove the ground or black wire first. And you can touch both terminals with your hands, just not with a piece of metal in between. 12 volts isn't enough to run current through your skin, so it is a safe voltage. And pull the terminal. And go ahead and inspect it. Make sure there's no buildup on the bottom of the terminal. This looks all good, so I don't see any trouble there. And before you remove the positive terminal, just let it sit for about 30 seconds for the energy to dissipate. Okay, now we're going to remove our positive terminal. Yeah, as you can see, there's a little tiny bit of lead corrosion on the bottom here, but nothing that's concerning. Okay, now lift the battery out. One thing I like to try before getting a new battery is just throwing it on a battery charger for 24 hours and seeing if the battery comes back to life. All right, one other thing I've done in the past is hooked a good battery up to the dead battery, let that sit overnight, and sometimes that brings back the old battery as well. So try those two things. If that doesn't bring back the battery, then you really just need to replace your battery. All right, our new battery came in. New excess power battery, D3400. I am not sponsored by them, but I have been using their product for about 15 years now, and they just make a great product. So highly recommend them. If you need a new battery, check them out. All right, before we put our new one into our vehicle, I like to just put it up to the old one, just make sure the dimensions are the same, terminals are on the right side, and just overall inspect to make sure you're replacing it one for one. This sticker has seen better days for sure. All right, so here on our battery, it says, please mark the month and the last digit year of purchased. So I bought this in March of 2024. So we are gonna scrape off March and 2024. All right, before we put our battery back into the vehicle, we're gonna take our terminals off and just give them a quick clean. That way we just know everything's clean before we put our brand new battery back in. So take an 8mm wrench, pop this guy off. All right, and then just give it a little spray of battery terminal cleaner. All right, now let's plop in our new battery here. I'm gonna throw positive on. What I like to do is tighten these after I put the battery in, so that way they can move while you're putting it in. And the specs call for these terminals to only be tightened to 8 foot-pounds, which is not a lot at all, so you don't need to over tighten these at all. Okay. Throw your hardware on or your screw. Give her a roll good enough. Okay, now we're gonna put the black on. And you're gonna hear a spark, so don't be alarmed. Ooh. Good enough. And we'll give the back a tight here. Now we need to throw our protector back on. And, moment of truth, let's go turn her on. All right, already a good sign. Vehicle lights on. Flashing lights. And truck starts. Hey-o! All right, last but not least, mark down your mileage and your vehicle's record. All right, y'all, that's gonna wrap up this video of identifying if your battery in your vehicle is really dead, and also how to change a vehicle's battery if it's dead. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.